So this is the medical bay room. We just gotta make sure that we get your wristband set up. And to do that, we're just gonna have to take some basic vitals and things like that, blood pressure, other stuff like that. I'm not medical, right? So I'm just gonna, oh, thanks. Yeah, so the regulation for us, for our hair, is the same across all genders, is that you can't have any changes, and it's actually all species as well. You can't have anything that obscures your vision, so they can't go down over my eyes, or that would be easy to grab in combat, so no long ponytails, nothing like that for either gender. Otherwise, you can wear hair like that. You don't have to like shave your hair off if you don't want to. It just has to be, although a lot of us, it's so hot here, a lot of people do shave all the way down. Earlier I had mine clipped up like this, just because it's hot. I don't want it sweating on my face, but now that we're inside, we've been wandering back and forth through the, all the different polymer walls and all the different places here. So I wanted to just, so this is the hallway. We got to go into the medical bay room, and we'll get this stuff done. And even though I'm not medical, doing a wristband is really easy. They teach all of us how to do it. I think Dr. Patty Leland is out teaching something, so I'll just get your stuff hooked up. All of the equipment will measure what needs to be measured, and then that'll sync and get your wristband on. So, yeah, you ready to go? Let's head on into that room. Let's try that again. So this is the examination room. The window back there is a polymer wall that you can open. Basically, you don't really open it, but you can make it more and more translucent. You just put your hand on it, and of course the piezoelectric ceramic, it's not really ceramic, but ceramic and polymer material, will change basically the density of its distribution. So you just wipe your hand down the wall if you would like it to be darker, and up the wall if you would like it to become more translucent. And out there, I know you can kind of hear the rainforest sounds. It's pretty easy to hear the jungle and everything from where we are. Just where we are is, that's what it is. The medical center is a little bit more towards the edge of everything, so that's just kind of how it is. Let me get you set up here and just a little quieter. So I'm just going to hook up some of these things to you. What do you think so far? What do you think of Fort Jehu so far? I know it's overwhelming. We went through a lot of information earlier. Alright, let's get you done. So, the first thing we gotta do is we gotta let it record your vitals. The wristband itself records your vitals, but we have to make sure that you have your own baseline. There's some kind of thing where it has to check some things. And then this is going to be a little prick in your finger. That's just, it's got to get certain standard blood levels for you. The wristband actually has a capability where it can take a quick, tiny blood sample while you're out in the field and so forth, just a little poke. And it can let you know, it sends that information back to medical in case something needs to happen. But there's also a lot of transdermal readings, so that we can track your, like poisoning levels or things like that. That's kind of important. So let's just get you hooked up here. I'm gonna kind of do a little bit of whispering. I talk to myself while I get these things because it's just kind of how I do. Just gotta get you hooked to some things here and then over here. Give me just a second. We'll put this on your finger. What I'm doing right now is just getting the materials together for the actual wristband. So I'm going to scoop some of these things out of the way. And that has most of the supplies that are necessary. What's this? I don't know what it is. She leaves a lot of stuff, you know, around. Just kind of how I do. I'm pretty organized, but I have noticed that she herself is not that organized. Her medics, assistants and stuff mostly maintain a lot of the organization. Alright. A lot going on over here. So the material on your wristband, I'll show you in a second, is going to look very similar to mine, which, as you know, mine is currently cloaked. You won't have a cloaked one. Mine is that way because I do a lot of missions with civilians, and sometimes that can be a giveaway. Not always. A lot of people don't know, you know, what it is. The Groen, if they capture you, they'll definitely cut it off. Although it's happened before that they'll injure somebody and leave them injured, so the wristband will read that it's injured, and then when people go to help them, they'll snipe them, which is another reason all of, especially if it's somebody who, like, is kind of high profile and is, like, important to rescue, they'll make sure they injure that person, leave the wristband on, and leave them in a place where it's kind of accessible, but it's a good place to set up an ambush. So all of our, you know, higher profile members, like, kind of are aware of that, and we're always very cautious about certain rescue missions. So a lot of the philosophy here is a little bit mean, but a lot of it is going to be like, you rescue yourself, you help yourself, it's your job to break out if you're captured, no matter what. And as you're, you know, oh, you're right, this is another no-no according to our regulations. You can't have anything hanging outside your shirt because, you know, someone can grab and try to choke you with it and so forth. So so what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so kind of capture regulations, so you'll get it when you get into the combat orientation. Clicky will take you over that stuff, but definitely they'll give you classes on capture as well. Definitely it's really important to know your basic medical stuff, like I said last time, for yourself and your squad, so that you can take care of yourself if you're injured. Most of the wristbands have a kind of, so yours is going to be like mine, because you're going to be working probably with a lot of chemicals and stuff, and it's going to have kind of a paracord base, which is awesome, because you can use the paracord to saw through things if you're captured. And I'll show you how at some point. It's basically like, if you're captured with certain materials, you can create a tension saw between your, like, from your mouth and your legs, or just from one foot to the other. Put your hands down and pump your legs. You know what, I'll draw you a picture. I won't draw you a picture, we're here to do your medical stuff. We'll talk about it later. But anyway, the paracord one's really cool. A lot of people's have kind of a polyurethane or other kind of stretchy, rubbery type material. So, you know, if you need to, you're in a situation where it's really important that the Felsi can't find you anymore, you cut that off. You are never authorized to do that. It's going to be a very rare situation in which you're authorized to cut off your wristband. And children certainly are taught never, ever, ever to do that. Alright, so let me get you the pricky prick. Go ahead and give me your finger. Perfect. And this is just to establish some baseline blood levels, okay? And it's also kind of serves, it's also got an oximeter in it, you know, so we can get your baseline oxysat as well. Perfect. Okay. And that information is sent from here directly into the computer. It's pretty awesome. Captive or not, sometimes it's just nice to be held. Hi Arvin, Tony Olt. So, that's a very funny thing to say, by the way. Captive or not, sometimes it's just nice to be held. Let me get a baseline on your heart as well, okay? And these things, these ones are the digital ones that will be affected by an EMP blast. Well, actually, they're battery powered, so technically they shouldn't be. Most of what Patty Loyland uses is the non-digital, just analog stethoscopes, basically, and materials, because we don't want anything that can be compromised or won't work if there's no electricity, bottom line. But this one has a little receptor on it right here, and that feeds directly into the computer. So it doesn't matter that I don't know what it means when I'm listening to your heart, because Dr. Loyland does. And so this just kind of establishes your first baseline, and it'll let us know, or it'll let her know, if she needs to call you in for an appointment. So, let me just go ahead and listen to your heart here. And she taught us to listen in 4 spots. So this is the aortic spot right here. And then this is the pulmonary spot right here. And then down here, this is your tricuspid spot. And here, kind of underneath your, basically your breast muscle, right there. The next one is your mitral valve spot. And then over here under your underarm, kind of midway down your underarm, is another spot. Okay. This should be on your left. That should be your left. There we go. Cameras are tricky. Alright, and then I'm also going to get a baseline respiratory rate on you. So if you'll excuse me, I'm just going to slide around right behind you. And just kind of listen here. So, if you'll take a deep, deep breath for me. Deep breath in and out. And again a deep breath in and out. And again deep breath in and out. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Alright, I'm going to slide around to your other side here. Deep breath in and out. 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 Oh, it's beeping and telling me I missed a spot over here. Dr. Loyland has certain spots that she wants to make sure to have a full reading of so she can get a full picture of your lung. Let me come back over here and listen again over here. It's going to be... Alright, again, deep breath in and out. In and out. In and out. Perfect. I think that's right. Let me check with the computer here. Yeah, it looks like it's happy with me now. So then there's 4 spots in the front that I gotta listen to your lungs. This one here, deep breath in and out. And then this spot over here, in and out, and in and out, and in and out. Sweet. Alright. Let me see here on the computer. What is the next thing? The next thing. The next thing. The next thing. Here we go. I like you guys so much. You guys are so funny. Welcome to Tea Drinking Demon, and welcome to Supervision, and like I said before, welcome to our Antonio, and everybody. What? No, I wasn't whispering anything weird in your ear. I was doing another one of the checks. It's a hearing check. What did you hear? What did you think that I said? No. didn't say anything. I've never heard of those people. I don't know what you're talking about. Do we need to have Dr. Llewellyn do a psych eval on you? Alright, so we listened to your heart. Let me just... I'm trying to see what else needs to go onto your particular wristband. Let's see. Okay. I'm gonna listen to your belly next, I guess. That's what it looks like, the next part. Okay. I think I have to have you lie down a little tiny bit. Can you lean back a little bit? Just a little bit. Okay. That's just fine. That's just fine. I'll just kind of scoot over to this side a little bit of you. Just right over here. And I'm going to listen to your belly right there. And there. There's 4 quadrants she taught us. Technically there's also a 9-quadrant distribution by organ. All this kind of... Sorry, you don't need to know. What's it sound like? Oh, it's kind of a gurgly sound. That's right. So on your planet, it's very, very basic medical care, right? Hey, you want to listen to what my belly sounds like? Stomachs are super interesting and weird. They have all kinds of strange sounds. Here, I'll just put this on you. On your ear. We'll certainly try it. Can you hear that? How about there? Not really. I kind of figured. It takes practice and so forth. So, oh, that's right. I have to check your ears next. Did we get all 4 spots? I think we got all 4 spots. Yeah, we did. We got all 4 spots. So, stethoscope will take care of the rest. Alright, so I'm supposed to also get pictures for her of the inside of your ears and the inside of your mouth, I think, and then I think other stuff she has to do herself, like neurological stuff and everything else, although there's some basic, once we have the wristband on you, there's some basic neurological functions and stability items we'll do, so that it can get a good reading positionally of kind of where you are. It's kind of like it's its own proprioceptor. Let me look at your ear. Yes, I'm being real quiet because these exam rooms are also like the same as the hospital rooms. They're just not as outfitted, so there's hospital rooms right next door where like actual sick people are, and I don't really want to disturb them too much. So let's see what she left for me here. She left for me. Oh, that's right, I gotta get your blood pressure too. A lot of stuff to do. Let's do that first before we do the ear thing. Let's do that first. And then this is supposed to measure your reflexes as well. Alright, let's check your blood pressure. I hate this. It's so loud. Alright, so here on your right arm. Just gonna go ahead and get this on here. Just this thing. This is what I want to put on you. This is a blood pressure cuff. Yeah, sure, you can hold it. It's just basically I puff it up with air, and this thing is like a pressure meter. This thing here. Why do I keep tapping on stuff? I don't know, it's a habit I have. It's kind of a weird tick. We accept all kinds here at the FLC. A lot of weird. Some of us are pretty weird. And that's just a weird thing I like to do. I don't know why. But yeah, that's the pressure gauge. And so because this pressure, basically how much of this pressure is needed to stop the blood flow in your arm here is kind of what is your blood pressure, right? So because with enough pressure you can stop the blood flow. You're really trying to stop it in the brachial artery, which is right here. And once you stop that pressure, like you've squeezed it down, the pressure that as you release the cuff, the exact pressure that was there's a human component instead of just doing a digital exam, because human exams for blood pressure actually tend to be more accurate than machines. Machines have trouble hearing that exact spot. So we have the best of both worlds in that we have the human component. I'm going to be listening and making it happen. But both the cuff and the stethoscope read their signals and information onto the computer, so also it checks for human errors as well. So this is the thing I use to pump it up. So just going to do that real quick. And just look at this thing here. And then listen to you. Alright. Looks good to me. It seems pretty standard for a human. It's just a couple points higher than mine. I think yours is a little bit like, Dr. Loyland says that your blood pressure can go up when you're nervous or when you're in pain or the kinds of things like that. But there's like a particular number that's like kind of an alarm for humans. That's 140 over 90. After that, it's kind of hypertension. It's not an alarm, but it's high blood pressure. People need to be treated for that. But then if it's like an emergency, that's like, 180 over something, over 100, or like 200, those are like emergency, like you could have a heart attack or stuff like that. So because the average lifespan for somebody in the fallacy, for a human in the fallacy, is only 23, we don't have a lot of people with high blood pressure. There's only, like, I only know a couple people over 30. So not a lot of high blood pressure, but some. What we see more is going to be low blood pressure, right? Because of hemorrhage, right? If somebody's like bleeding and someone's hemorrhaging out, and the important numbers there, you don't really want to be going below 100 over 80, but that's okay. You're getting into danger zones when you're in the 80s and below. That's like, you can die. Bad stuff is happening. Emergency. You're not going to be taking a blood pressure in the field because it takes time. It's a waste of your time. You're going to be reading pulses, and you'll feel if the pulse feels really weak. The person is becoming pale. This is probably a sign they've lost a ton of blood. So, and you can kind of guess blood pressures by where you can feel the pulse. Although that's not super accurate, Dr. Loyland says. So that's what we tend to see more of. Most of us have, and we're all exercising all the time, right? So most of us have, pretty low blood pressures, like in the hundreds over 80s or things like that. So 100 over 80 isn't bad. I'm talking like 100 over, like, if you're getting below 100 and you're like, okay, 90 over 60, that looks bad. 70 and up can be fine. Yeah, 120 over 70 is the average blood pressure that a person has, and a human has anyway. Sorry, I like a lot of this stuff. Like I said, I'm more of the mechanical person in the squad, but I really like our combat medic. They've got a lot of, they're very good at keeping us informed. So, yeah. Well, do you have any questions before we continue with your, getting your wristband calibrated? Hey there, Hush. It's good to see you. What are you talking about? I didn't whisper anyone in your ear. Anything in your ear? I think you might be. Are you just joshing with me or what? Oh, you're just teasing with me. Don't tease me. I don't like that. I will punch you. I didn't whisper anything in your ear. Yeah. Do you have any questions? Does your weight go on your wristband? Yeah, it does. That's actually a really good point. I need to do some measuring. Measure your BMI and so forth. So, thank you. Some of our measuring items here. So, actually, that surface that you're sitting on right now already has your weight. That's already synced into the computer. So we don't have to make you feel embarrassed and go stand somewhere Don't I dare measure your BMI. You'll lump in there. I told you we're on the ground, so you can hear. There's no airlock to open. We're on the ground, and this is we're on a planetary surface here on Luna. That's why you can hear rainforest sounds. I promise you, it's gonna be just fine. We kind of focus on maintaining a healthy BMI, but also like everyone's got a pretty healthy like body image. We have taken in like some like ex-Retract City dancers. I love the sky dancing up at Retract City. Where you've never heard of it? So they're the dancers who, like from these giant, like round ships. They're airships, they're not spaceships, but they fly over the art district of the city. The city, unfortunately, is growing controlled, so we can't go up there a lot. But the dancers up there, like, have all these colorful ribbons and colorful costumes, and they hang from the airships and do all kinds of, like, really cool feats and tricks and stuff like that. It's pretty, like, awesome, and it's kind of a joy to see. Oh, I messed something up here with Dr. Lemon's thing. Oh, and it looks like my arm is disappearing into the void. Let me just move to the side right here. I don't know why it looked like that to you. You must be crazy because it didn't look like that to me. I know where my arms are at all times. There we go. Much better. Alright, I'm going to scoot back over here a little bit. Just all the way over here. Yeah. That's going to be best. What we're doing, oh yeah, we're measuring you. So don't worry. What I'm saying is a lot of the ex-dancers have like pretty low self-image, self-esteem. Obviously, I'm not saying that all dancers do, right? I know some ex-dancers who have phenomenal self-esteem, and they should because they are gorgeous. But there is a tendency sometimes in such a strict and kind of controlling profession, just between you and me, to kind of shame people about weight and so forth. We're gonna want you to be healthy, but that's so that you can run away from the growing, and that there's less of you to shoot. That's not because you're gonna be bad looking or anything like that. We also have a lot of really healthy like body image stuff, because you can be super sexy and super unhealthy, skinny or fat, whatever you want to be. I've got a little extra flab myself right now, because I just did a civilian mission. So like I mentioned, like we normally do mechanic type stuff, but they needed somebody with mechanic kind of skills, and so they pulled me for like an inter-squad mission, in kind of like a rich people's area in Retract City, and I was there for a long time, like a month away from my squad. I really missed my squad, but I was the only one who could go, and I gained weight, so don't worry about it, don't worry, we're gonna get your BMI, it's not gonna be a problem. So, no, they're not really like strippers, although they don't wear a lot of clothes. There is that element of it. There is, that's kind of, the Groen like to pretend that under them, Retract City is super prosperous, and that because they, so a lot of the reason for the Groen unification is this idea that if everyone is unified under one belief system, under one set of rules, under one code, then there will be no war, there will be no crime. Basically, their idea is if you can kind of eliminate diversity, you can eliminate like war, poverty, and everything else like that. That's their thought, right? So like they don't like that the vibrant insectoids do a lot of like nomadic stuff, right? So you'll find that a lot of insectoids are pro-Frelsi, and this is because we are totally okay with them having this nomadic lifestyle. It's not that Groen people are opposed to nomads per se, it's that they're opposed to the idea of a society that doesn't obey zoning laws, right? Because they don't. I'm gonna just move over here. I just knocked something over that belongs to Dr. Moylan, and I don't want her to be pissed at me when she gets back. But yeah, so they want everyone to obey the same set of laws, and vibrant insectoids, as, you know, basically a nation state, have their own set of laws. And they don't really care about, you know, their society is just very nomadic, so they don't really obey zoning restrictions. It's kind of difficult for them when they are visiting in an area that doesn't have, that has, like, a lot of rules about property and so forth. It's not that the insectoids don't have property, it's that all their property is mobile. Locations aren't considered property to them, which is obviously a challenge because a lot of other species do consider locations property, right? And so the reason a lot of insectoids want to join us is because our kind of compromise for that is, like, when you're in an area that is claimed as sovereign territory by a people group or species, you basically pay to occupy certain territory, and then that's like financially beneficial for everybody. You pay to occupy it as like visitants, and it's okay that you're like doing basically the homeless thing. The Groen see this as a form of homelessness, and is likely to increase crime, and it is true. There is a lot of crime in a lot of vibrant areas where vibrants are there's a lot of them, but I don't know if that's more because of, like, people tend to profile vibrant insectoids. It's pretty obvious to see, you know, so I don't know if it's more that, and that's why there's supposed to be more crime, or because, like, the nomadic lifestyle just kind of leads to, like, a different way of thinking, right? So a lot of insectoids like to join us. For the Groen, the insectoids are kind of just they're difficult to control. They don't pay taxes. They don't obey, like, government income restrictions, and so that's not, so the Groen don't like that. And the Groen idea is basically all the planets to be together under one government, and at peace, right? Which sounds really good. Our problem is that in order to make that peace, they're pretty much erasing everything that makes us all individual as species, cultures, belief systems, and everything else like that. Their idea is, and you'll hear different versions of it on different planets, right? Because they span a huge area, but their version of it is, so like in some places you'll hear versions of it where they're like less extreme, and they're like, oh, you know, there's still going to be cultural diversity. We're just going to make sure that everyone is obeying the same systems that we want them to obey. And then it'll get more extreme in other places where there's a rumor that there are some Groen leaders who actually want to bioengineer, like, one species, like take the best, because the common theme through all, like, Groen unification, like treaties and so forth, is we take the best of everyone to make the one best system. Again, it sounds really good. And that there is an extreme version of that where there is a rumor, and we haven't been able to substantiate it, that there are some scientists who are trying to take the best from everyone and make one best species and then eliminate everyone else. The big problem is just our big kind of argument in general tends to be, the problem is that they want to eliminate the things that make us all different. And that's not even with getting into the problem of the contaminated people, right? That's the people who speak to the interdimensional Nyanja from, like, outside time and space. A lot of Groen folks believe that either that's a brain disease and it's infectious, and therefore it should be controlled or eliminated, or B, there's some people who believe that being is real and it's trying to enter and devour our universe through the minds of all these people, right? That's kind of, so, like, there's a lot of things that when you hear the Groen propaganda, it's really easy to believe, right? But they'll go to extremes to where, like, they're willing to, like, kill kids who might be contaminated because they don't want to risk that contamination spreading. Of course, so contamination is kind of a slur, and we're not supposed to say it here within the Frelsey when we, you know, talk to those folks. But I'm just using the language that is commonly used. But it is kind of a slur. So instead of using that, they like to say that they like to say kind of vague stuff, like they talk to an interdimensional, or they are interdimensional friendly, right? Or specifically that they're friends with Nyanja. Like, that name is very, very important to them, to a lot of them. So yeah, But the ideas that the Groen promote in general, in Red Track City specifically, there's a lot of claiming that like Red Track City has the highest of culture, it's a financial center, and so forth. The reality is, in order to maintain the situation, there's a lot of control, and then there's a really strong seedy underground, because any place you have really, really, really tight, overwhelming control from the top, the way that people deal with that or escape that tends to be, pretty extreme also. The response to extremism is always extremism, unfortunately. So you'll see that even in like in almost all totalitarian societies in like past human history, places that had a really strict, strong tyrannical control had a really seedy secret underground as well. Even if it was even like if there was a lot of effort to stamp it out. Why? Because of corruption, because it behooves you financially when you live in a situation that's so strict, to try to get stuff off the side, get your jollies elsewhere. So there is an underground human trafficking trade that does sometimes center around some of the sky dancers. This is all back to the main thing where you asked if it's kind of like intergalactic strippers. There is that side of things, but that's not what the actual official like dancing and acrobatics and everything else is. You'll hear stories if you get to know some of the ex-dancers here. You'll hear stories from people where like somebody who was like their manager tried to make money off of them by selling them on the side, but other stories where like people are super confident they're in charge of their career. No one ever made them do anything for money or anything. They just danced and performed, and they were fantastic and phenomenal artists, and they just joined up with us because they didn't like the politics at Red Track City. So that's just, you hear all sides of it. So it's not really like that, but there is that element, and that's since the Groen took over the city about between 5 to 10 years ago. Before that, there just wasn't that element of it, because when the big influx of soldiers, so the entire western district of Red Track City is now Groen barracks, and all of those soldiers away from their own homes and planets and everything else like that, it's violent people who are willing to kill children. Obviously, when they take control of a city, they're going to get what they want, and if what they want is one of the dancers, they're going to get her. So that's kind of like the dark side of having this like enormous military force, where everyone's kind of doesn't really know each other. They're all kind of they're all there for profit. They're all paid. There tends to be kind of there can be like a seedy side. I don't know. I don't really know why all the things. I'm not a politician. This is my general explanation for shite. I could be really filking wrong about all of it. That's just kind of what I understand from what the dancers and so forth have told me. But you should definitely check out the sky. Like, checking out a sky dance is not illicit at all. If we ever conquer Red Track City, which we may, or if you ever get to go to that district, our district is kind of close to the western district with the spaceport, so don't really go there, but if you ever get the chance, it is one of the most amazing lights and fireworks and beautiful things you've ever seen. Like and it used to be that there are a couple different species represented. Now it's predominantly humans, because most of the Groen soldiers are human and they want to see what humans want to see. But it used to be really neat. You'd have all different kinds of like species that can fly, or species that have like claws would take advantage of that and make it real artistic. I saw once a Buke sky dancer with her, this was a full-grown adult, so over 100 years old, with her like super long claws, and they were all decorated with all these different things. The thing that was tough about that performance is she had to keep her claws out the entire time, which can kind of get in the way. And so there were a lot of like really death-defying, like dangerous stunts. Like her claws would come really close to like a human or something like that, and it was just a really cool dance. She was super awesome. Really long tusks. All her tusks were decorated. The female tusks aren't as long as the male space lemur tusks, but they were just, it was gorgeous. I wished for a moment that I was a space lemur. It was phenomenal. So I don't know if that answered your question, and I hope I answered your concerns about BMI. I'm definitely going to measure your BMI, and you're gonna be okay. So welcome, Assassin Breakfast. It's fine that you're late. No, I didn't whisper in your ear. I don't know what you're talking about. You gotta stop hearing things, man. Let me put this away that I knocked down. And then let's get you measured. Go up there. Alright, so like I said, that thing below you already has your weight. Let's kind of get you measured. And the way this thing works, literally I'm going to stretch it over you and it's going to read for me. I don't have to do anything. So I'm going to first measure your neck circumference because that's helpful for sleep apnea. It's good to know for humans. You don't want to have more than like 15 centimeters. That kind of puts you at risk for sleep apnea. So I'm just going to kind of measure around. Do you have any like sensitivity or stress around necks? Some of our former assault victims are really sensitive about necks. Are you okay with me touching your neck? Okay. I'm just going to be real gentle and just kind of loop this around. Alright, here you go. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit you there with that. Just right here. And let me scoot over to the other side. I'm having a little bit of trouble getting all the way behind you like I want to. Just right over to this side. Just kind of here. And it looks like, okay, so we okay, that's good, and then we're going to go ahead and measure your height, obviously, for your BMI. So if you can put this end right under your foot, I'll just kind of stretch this down across midline here. You're not very short, so yeah, let me just kind of get from the top of you. Let me get behind you. Let's get from behind you so that all your curves and stuff aren't throwing me off. Okay, so just from the top of you all the way down. And just have to make sure that this reads. And there we go. You're finished reading. Perfect. And then we're just going to get a measurement around your waist, okay? I know some people are sensitive about this. Again, you look awesome. It's just about making sure that we can be promoting the best health for you. Okay. Just let me get around here, and then around your back here, and then kind of your waist here, and then let me scoot just a little bit to the other side of you here. Okay, and then back over here. Okay. And let's see. That is perfect. And then that's reading as well. Great. So that's really all the main measurements that we need. The computer will get the rest of it, waist and so forth. We're not trying to like measure you for clothes here, so I'm not doing medium, your chest and everything else like that. We're kind of low tech when it comes to clothes. Tended to be kind of in general one size fits all. You're not going to get anything fancy or tailored. The civilian clothes that we use when we go places, you'll see most people, it looks like they raided a fucking tablecloth factory. You know, a lot of browns. Not really a lot of fashionable stuff. It's just part of what it is. Most of the finances that we do get, because it's very limited, are kind of geared towards things like trying to get better camouflage in uniforms, or of course better pew-pews. So let me put this away. It's up over here. I'm trying not to knock down more of Dr. Loyland's stuff. And what's next? Let me look here on the computer. Oh, reflexes. So, this thing I don't really understand how it works, but what we're gonna do is I have to hook your finger and your toes up to like different position sensors, and then this thing will read the pressure and the position sensor. Excuse me, will read the rest. So let me just kind of clip this onto this finger right here. And perfect. And then let me just come around to the other side of you and clip this on this finger here. There we go. Perfect. Okay. And then, oh, your toes. So down here. And down here. Perfect. And then we're going to do this. So I'm doing it on your knees first because that's the easiest for me. I have a lot of trouble with the one that's here, and then we never do the ones that are here. Only Dr. Llewellyn does that if she's like concerned about something. We are going to measure like your grip strength, and if she's concerned about that, she'll check there. So I'm just going to check your knee real quick. Okay, good. Whoa there, don't kick me. Alright. And then over here on this side. And what I'm doing is I'm just going to tap right here on your arm. So I'm just going to pick up your arm here. Yep. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And then just kind of over to the other side. Over here. Just going to hold your arm and kind of... Perfect. Perfect. Alright. So I'm just, yeah. Sorry I keep moving back and forth all around you. I can be a little jittery. I've had people call me creepy because I can be a little sneaky and just kind of appear somewhere where you're not expecting. I tap on stuff and I appear places. You'll learn we all have our own little strange quirks, and we're all very... Being yourself is kind of encouraged. Just kind of in our whole thing. There are a lot of rules. Most of the rules have good reasons for them, just because we are trying to not die, and that can feel a little rough. I know someone who she used to live with Buick space lemurs, and obviously a large portion of our population here is humans, so there's a lot of human culture here, and she finds it, for a while, like, it was kind of obvious, she found it really difficult to, like, adapt to the rules here versus very different social rules, you know, in the jungle, in, you know, Buick Space Lemur Society, where they have all their huts up in, I guess it's rude to call them huts, all their, like, nests, up in the trees, and they're, like, these little kind of woven, cylindrical features. You'll probably see them if we're ever in an area of a jungle where you can find them. It takes a keen eye to spot them, but they have these little, you know, almost cities, and then they have like thatch or like roofs made of leaves, and then inside they'll have these areas because they are omnivores, so they do have, like, they do a lot of hunting, and they'll have these areas inside the nests. I've actually only been inside a Buick home once, but they have these areas inside where there's, I mean, they look like, you know, day lizard nests, or, I don't know if you have birds on your planet, on your moon, but like those kind of nests, but they're lined with, like, animal hides and everything like that, and the whole family sleeps in one communal, like, thing. If parents want to get it on, they go out to the trees and go somewhere private, but in the home, it's all, you know, like, the whole family will cuddle in this area, and, like, guests and stuff, like, if they know the family well, they'll all sleep together in the same nest thing. It's just very, like, and that's considered, like, very platonic and safe, and, like, it's like a sacred space. There's a lot of, like, Buick metaphors and old sayings that kind of reference, you know, the home sleeping nest as, like, a sacred space of innocence, right? And then, like, Buick stories and literature will talk about, like, the jungle as, like, the place of, you know, where you go wildness and sexuality and all that other kind of stuff, right? So it was really hard for her, this particular person I'm thinking of. You'll meet her, probably. I don't want to be, like, telling her business by name before you've met her. But it was really difficult for her to adjust to this, like, you know, humans don't do that. In, you know, for a lot of humans, like if you touch another human, it's like interpreted very, you know, like as like, you know, I want to mate with you kind of behavior. There isn't really such a thing as platonic cuddling in a lot of human societies. Humans tend to be a lot colder, and then, you know, different people have different histories too, so there's people for whom touch is really triggering and stressful. And that was really tough for her. That wasn't what she was used to. It's not for good or bad. There's different ways of doing stuff, but I know she really, really misses, like, that, like the siblingness of the forest, basically. But, what were we talking about? I'm sorry I keep getting distracted. I'm supposed to look in your ears next. Alright, let me take a look. This thing will just take a picture of the inside of your ear. Alright, so I'm just going to take a look over here. And just kind of get a good picture. Just gotta get it lined up. Hold on, I'm just gonna hold your ear here just a little bit. Sorry, I know it goes a little bit. No. Okay, there we go. And then I'm just gonna kind of scooch over to the other side here and listen over here. And same kind of thing. Just gotta get you lined up well. Forgive me for that. A lot of ear touching. Alright, let me see how that turned out. Nope, didn't do a good job. Let me get that picture again. Alright, so I don't mind hearing exams, but some people find them painful. I hate his ear cleaning. Alright, let's see. That picture works. Shoot, my picture of the other one didn't work. So let me go and get the other side, the other ear again. Okay, so get you. Come on, the camera's like there we go. Perfect. Oh, and I'm supposed to get your mouth and your eyes too. It's a lot of things. Go ahead and open your mouth for me. It would help if I had the light on. There we go. Go ahead and open your mouth for me and say, ah. Perfect. Okay. And then I have to get a picture of the inside of your eyes. Oh, don't worry, that's not painful or anything. It's just, it's like this, like, gun. It's not an actual gun. It's just shine this light, and I put my eye here, and you put your eye here, and, we can see each other into, I can see into your eye, you can't see into my eye. Wow. Is that okay? Okay. Let me just look into your eye real quick over here. Hold on just a second. I just gotta get everything kind of lined up. Kind of lined up right here. Let's see. Alright, I just gotta, sorry, I know it's a little awkward. I just gotta kind of get it lined up for you. Alright. Nice. That's gonna turn out really well. Okay. And then I just gotta kind of scoot over to your other side here. Scoot over to your other side here. And get your other eye. Can you see the light okay? Oh, I turned it off. Did I turn it off? What's happening? Sorry. Like I said, I'm not really familiar with a lot of these tools. This is like what Dr. Llewellyn does. This is not what I do. Oh, ran out of battery. Who'da thunk? I did get a picture of your eye though before it ran out. That's really convenient. Let me just plug it in. And it'll charge up. this isn't an official exam, it's just kind of a baseline. Your wristband will get a lot of other details and get you kind of squared away. And then, if Dr. Loyland sees anything she needs to examine further, she will. Oh, yeah, when I took a picture of your mouth, there's an initial outside picture of your teeth, but I need to get an inside picture of your teeth. So I'm going to need you to bite down on this thing. Yeah, I know. It's kind of a weird tube-looking thing. It's got gel in it because that's how you, you know, the rays have to like transmit through a particular kind of fluid or whatever. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, okay? But let me just scoot over here, and then let me just have you kind of open your mouth. And I keep looking at the computer to make sure you're all lined up because the computer is going to be the thing that has the information for Dr. Loyland. And just open your mouth and just bite down on that. Okay, and then just hold it there for just a second while I try to get it all the way lined up so that you get a good picture. It's kind of like an x-ray of your teeth, but it's like slightly different. I don't know, it's a different kind of ray that she uses. I don't know everything. And there we go. Yep, that's perfect. So that way, if there's issues, she'll know there's issues. And, alright, I think we've got everything. So let me just get things printed out for your wristband here. I just have to get the materials together right here. Any questions? I know it's a lot of information and stuff. I know I tell you a lot. So. I'm just going to work on this here and just kind of work here on the computer a little bit while I make sure all the data syncs to your wristband. You are. You're going to design a cannon that fires machine guns at your enemies. And those machine guns will fire explosive bombs that break into millions of chickens who will peck your enemies to death. And afterwards you turn the chickens into a whole bunch of chicken nuggets. Well, you're a joker, aren't you? What's a chicken? Oh, it's a kind of bird from your moon? Huh. Here we eat, well, you saw the nutrient slop, is mostly what we eat. We grow some, like, we were lucky and we got a lychee fruit vine going out there in the, so people don't know, people think lychee fruit is just a tree, but actually it starts as a vine. And we got one in our, squad garden. And then we've got a lot of other, like, leafy green vegetables, like the carrot and the tadlita. No, I'm not just saying words. Those are actual things. And for, like, protein, we have been known on occasion, it's kind of hard to hunt when all you've got is oxidizer cartridges and you can't really afford to lose those. So we, because we have to use them on the bad guys. But a couple folks have taught us, like, especially some of the space lemurs, like groups that are lucky enough to have a space lemur in their squad, will a lot of times teach you different, like, hunting techniques, so we just substitute, like, knives and things for claws. So a lot of us are pretty good with a knife. And I don't know if you've ever had peacock guinea pig, but that's very good. And then that's, like, very tender and light. It's not a very dark meat. It does have, like, those elements to it. It's pretty, like, savory, but, like, the light end of savory goes well with, like, more gentle spices, like if you can just get some good salt on it. But sometimes you might want to do, like, it's one of the things that it can be a blank slate. You can kind of put whatever you want on it. Parrot flesh also. A lot of Buick space lemurs really like to eat parrot. And then a kind of darker, like stringier, almost more aquatic tasting meat is singing day lizard. All the sounds that you hear in the jungle and all that, that's all the day lizards. That's their different sounds and singing. They can be very loud, but that's mostly what it is. They have kind of stringy meat. I don't like it very much, but hey, you know, it is what it is. It sometimes beats nutrients though. So, but yeah, there's your answer. 750 million chickens. Wow, that's a lot. Honor their sacrifice with high quality song. I like jumping spiders too. Your emotional support. Bees. An emotional support tank. That is what some of the folks in the tank squad literally name their tanks, things like that. Yeah, any other questions while I'm getting your wristband configured here? Alright, I'm just about done here. So, this is what your wristband's gonna look like. This is the readout right here. You can see right now it looks like a little compass. So you can use that to tell direction, but also it will give you literally a map. And you can make the readout bigger by doing like this, and it'll show up on your hand. The light triggers basically map to your hand, which is pretty cool. It emits light from here, so you have to make sure to put this thing up. This thing is also a whistle, like a signaling whistle. It's very quiet, but you can use it to signal in certain situations. So you gotta make sure you put it on this way up so that the light can read onto your hand. This is where like map readouts and everything else will appear. And what it does is it reads for each finger. It knows which points they are, and so it can kind of create a relative, it looks like a screen almost. And then you can press buttons on it because it knows where each finger is, so it knows where you're pressing within the light that it's emitting. It's a pretty cool little system. That's kind of how it works. So kind of like there were like touch screens in the old days that were just pressure sensitive, but there were also touch screens that were like light sensitive, that they knew based on the map of where things were what a thing should mean. And it's like the latter, but your hand is the map. So yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. The readout will have a tutorial to tell you what to do. This is also how we communicate. So to speak into the communicator, you just hold down here, right here, you hold down here, and then you talk into it, okay? And it's possible to leave it in a voice-activated mode, which you can, prep so that you don't always have to be touching it, but then every time there's a voice, it'll start transmitting, and you don't always want that. What I do is I sometimes, when I'm out doing stuff, keep my wristband like kind of up so that I can press the back side like this and talk. If you have long fingers, it's even easier. My hands are kind of small, and that makes it easy for talking. So like when I'm working with my weapon, I have these fingers and this, and then I can still hold my weapon just the same way, because this is my support hand, and then if I need to talk, I can talk, or if I use the other side. So I'm kind of, it's difficult for me. Some people are like only one-eye dominant, and we'll teach you that, how to find what's your best shooting eye. I kind of have both, and I'm almost cross-eye dominant, so it's a little bit difficult, but so sometimes I'll shoot like this so my hand is up closer to my face, but you gotta go with what's your dominant eye. So yeah, that's the most important stuff. I mean, it'll tell you. Here, I'll get this put on you. And then this area is where, if there needs to be like a poison draw, like this sensor and everything else, will stick into your skin. You have a vein like that that'll just stick into to kind of get a little readout of what's going on with you, but it's like really small, so you shouldn't bleed from there either. And it's got a little mist here for antiseptic, antibacterial. stabilizing spray. So you'll be okay. But that like almost never happens. It's only if the wristband is starting to read that like the transdermal levels are like really unusual, and the folks who are monitoring you need more data basically on you and your heart rate and everything else. And all the transdermal stuff basically is what reads fluctuations in your blood and everything else like that to make sure that you're okay. So it's pretty awesome. Let's see what else is important for you to know. You cannot take your wristband off. After I put it on you, it will lock on, and you just have to get used to having it on. It's best to have it on your non-dominant hand. Which one's your non-dominant hand? Sorry, I'm just checking some readout stuff. Do these things run on Android? I don't know what that is. The operating system that runs this, and that syncs with our operating systems back home, or on every computer, is actually kind of a self-coded system that we have. It's similar to the Go-in systems though, which are kind of standardized. Ours are just slightly different to allow for more flexibility, and each base sometimes changes it a little bit. We have certain standardized program rules like across all of our computing because for cybersecurity and everything else like that. But there is some flexibility in function and everything like that. We don't try to limit the creativity of our coders too much. There are obviously some standards that have to be maintained. And so the general base operating system that we operate off of is literally just called Frelsey Cloud. It's just the basic operating system that everybody runs. You're right-handed? Okay, perfect. So we'll just kind of just get it on you over here. And once this is on, it stays on, okay? And it's going to seal. And then you'll feel it kind of sticks to your skin a little bit. That's on purpose. You can slide it around if you need to, but it's gonna be snug, okay? There you go. That looks good. I'm actually gonna decloak mine. And like I said, mine is the same make as yours. Some people's are bigger and look kind of more like chronometers. Sorry, you said you were right-handed, which means it needs to go on your non-dominant hand, which is the other hand. Hold on, I have the screw here. This is the only tool that'll like safely remove your wristband, and you don't have one of these. And we'll put it on over here, on your left side. There we go. Will your tattoos interfere with the function? That's a good question. I have never been told that they would. So, in fact, I think one of the males in our squad has a tattoo right on their hand. So, I don't think so. That's a really good question. And I probably should have answered it before I put it on you. Alright, well, I think you're all set, medical exam-wise. Don't chew through this wristband. That's a bad thing to do. Don't do that. Yeah. So, oh shoot. Did the text-to-speech function thing work? Hold on. whispering in your ear? No, I wasn't whispering in your ear. I was just working on some medical stuff over here. You like the echo here? I will turn it way down. You can have echo for a little bit. You can have quiet echo. Quiet echo, quiet echo, quiet echo. Hey, so, where do you want to go next? We've gotten your medical exam set up, so, we gotta meet up with the rest of the squad down at the, like, edge of the base, because I want to show you the training centers anyway, but probably should rest a little bit. I can take you down to the barracks if you wanted to get anything real quick. We can go back to the barracks real quick, or if you're hungry, because it has been a little bit, we can go grab something to eat, again at the mess hall if you want, because it's on the way anyway to, kind of the edge. Kind of. Not exactly. You can't really hear the jungle from there. So, yeah, so where do you want to go? Back to the mess hall? Straight onto the training area? Not the training center that we saw, but the combat, like, practical area at the edge of the base. It's one of my favorite places. It's where the ruins of whatever was here before our fort was here is. And sometimes folks who do, like, history or archaeological stuff sometimes do things in that area. There's a bunch of history that I don't know about that's kind of in that area, but mostly we use some of the areas. It's not like we use a lot of it because the areas that like nobody can. It's kind of a bummer because some of what we do is kind of rough, and sometimes I wonder like what the ruins would look like if someone had like taken care of them or cleaned them up or something like that. We just clean up whatever mess we leave, right? But I wonder what it would have looked like a long time ago. On the other hand, they're very beautiful right now. And the past isn't necessarily better than the present. And everything has like a lifespan, right? Everything has a, system of decay. Things go away, and that's just kind of how it is. And so I think that it's not necessarily better to have it the way it was before or the way it is now, and the way it continues to change and evolve. I don't know. I think ruins are like people. But I still kind of, we make efforts not to break stuff. But it is, it's a rough area. There's a lot of plants all overgrown in it. And, so that's where we do a lot of more aggressive training. So anyway, do you want to go straight there, where the rest of the squad should be, or do you want to go to the barracks, or do you want to go to the, just real quick to drop some stuff off, real quick, or do you want to head to the mess hall real quick? You've seen the barracks and the mess hall before. If you're not hungry, we can go straight to the special area. You have to answer me. I can't make a call without you telling me. Mess hall. That sounds good. Okay. Okay. So, we gotta go back out through the hallway, which is what we will do. So we gotta go through the polymer wall. It sure took you a long time to go through that wall. And then we gotta go back out into the rest of the fort. So, we'll go to... is still pretty nice out. And then we'll take you over to the missile. So yeah, just follow me right this way. And then you're gonna get to meet everybody soon, and so that's gonna be good. So, yep, just up here there's another ball over wall. And we're back in here. And like I said, normally our mess stuff we have on us. We don't usually come here to eat. Like, so most of the food, when you want to eat, pretty much you gotta go to the barracks, or you'll pack it with you. And every morning you should have food for the day, just in case, like some kind of either nutrient, like a nutrient bag, or like a protein bar or something like that. Should be in your pack every single morning, because you never know what's going to happen over the course of the day, right? If there's some kind of attack, you end up being stuck somewhere for a long time, you don't want to not have food. So you always have your kind of basically basic survival stuff in your pockets that you need for every day, and you put that on in the morning with your weapon, which our weapons specialist will get assigned to you. So yeah, good stuff, very good stuff. Yeah, let me get you over to the wall here. And we can get stuff out of here. Looks like the nutrient chute is broken. That's weird. Somebody needs to fix that. Let me just kind of fix this here. Just since we're here and I have that ability. Let me just kind of... assignment today is to help you out, so I would rather not leave this broken for whoever is here next. So that's kind of our culture, like if you're asked for help, you never say that's not my job. You always say, I don't know, or I'm doing this, but I will find someone who can help you. Or you say, I don't know, but this will help you. That's kind of how we do things. You never ever say, and it's the same with like people who need help. Maybe you can't help them, maybe your resources are limited, but maybe you can find someone who can. That's kind of our attitude. And you'll see culturally that makes us pretty different from the kind of, not that, there's a big difference between a mercenary and a growing soldier, obviously. And I'm not saying that like growing soldiers don't believe, what they're fighting for. Most of them do. You have to sign up to fight wars in like galaxies far away from where you live. Not galaxies far away, but planets far away from where you live. And of course, our folks do the same, right? We have a lot of people, like, I know at least a couple Berberans, like I mentioned to you, who they're deployed far away from Berbera, which is their natural environment is aquatic, and they're here. So, like, we do that too, but in general, more of us have like kind of a story for why we're here. And anyway, their perspective isn't so much like everyone has their own job and sticks to it, you stay in your lane. So my ex was a growing ex-soldier, or is. They're still around the base. It's on good terms and everything like that, but they're in a different, like I never see them, they're in a way different squad, so fortunately I never see them, but they were an ex-growing soldier. Anytime that happens, right, someone becomes kind of like a celebrity because they can provide a lot of intel, but at the same time they're kind of under a lot of scrutiny, and that was kind of stressful when we were together. So alright, it's almost done here. There we go. The chute should be working now. You can go ahead and give it a try. Which color are you going to get today? Blue, green, or orange? Blue, green, or orange? Blue seems like it'll do phenomenal. Get you some. So just get your plate. Get it right under the chute. Yep, that's from right over here. And there's your scoop. And there you go. There's your scoop and there's your goop. I am going to get probably some green today. The green is cool because sometimes it like takes on some of the colors of stuff around it. It's not really green, it's kind of like translucent. And that's what I'm gonna get. Perfect. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna have. This is mine. You haven't seen the green before, right? You got orange last time. Yeah. Well, I like the green. I don't know which one is my favorite though. What? I'm a bit of a noisy eater. You got a problem with it? Alright, you mind your own business. You done? I'm done. Yep. So clean plates go in here. There you go, you're already figuring it out. And I just want to do one more check here to make sure that the thing is going to stay fixed and not break again. It's an easy fix. That's what I felt like, you know, why not? Why not fix it if you can fix it, right? Alright, the chute should work. There we go. Sorry, I know that's a little loud. I think it should stay fixed. Do you want to go, would you like to go to the big hangar area? Or what's kind of your, where would you kind of like to go? Oh, no. You know where we need to go, is we need to go back out. Do you have anything you need to drop out off at the barracks first, or can we go straight to the, you know, straight back to the training area at the edge of the fort? The ruins, basically. We should just call it the ruins. Do you want to go to the ruins right now, or do you need to do some, you know, something real quick at the barracks? I don't know if you need to take care of something or anything real quick. To the ruins. All right, phenomenal. I agree. Let's get some stuff done. Okay. Is this behind me? Something's behind me. No. It's just one of those trash bots. Yeah, so we don't have a lot of trash bots here. The girl would have more of those, so you have to clean up your own trash. We do have a couple that we have, requisitioned from the Growing. So you'll see them around sometimes. Basically, a trash bot basically is like a large mobile trash container, and it goes around and cleans stuff up. They're useful, but you pretty much have to put your own stuff into them. Most of the time you have to walk around and find one. Don't throw stuff down, don't litter, don't be an a-hole, basically, because we all have to live here. So, and if we do end up being eliminated and disappearing, it would be nice if the only things that we leave behind here are good things, not trash. Stories and memories of us and the things that are stored underground in the different bunkers. In every safe house, under the floor where the children hide, under where they hide, is stored like data chips and printouts written in all different languages, so that if we ever are eliminated, the world knows our story, or not just the world, but the galaxy. So it would be nice if that's the only thing we leave behind, and we don't leave behind trash, right? So yeah, trash bot is still behind me. Why is it still behind me? Go away, trash bot. Leave me alone. Stop stalking me. I don't know why it keeps bothering me. I guess it's not bothering me, it's just behind me. I don't like things behind me. It's like another one of my quirks. We're getting to know each other really well, and you're kind of learning a couple of my quirks, and that's definitely one of them. I don't like things behind me. Just between you and me. I find it annoying, and things behind me kind of scare me. It's just, I've been Felsie most of my life. I have a lot of experience with being snuck up on. You'll find that some Felsie people like to say that we have more experience sneaking up on people than being snuck up on, because we tend to focus more on stealth training, right? The Blitzers are like heavily armored and everything like that. The Groen soldiers, standard Groen soldiers are called Blitzers. They're, they have, that's partly because they go really fast. They have a lot of like mechanized support in some of their spacesuits. And then of course they always wear standard issue like full spacesuits and armor wherever they go, whatever planet they're on. They have the same standardized wear. Which, we have atmosphere hoods and stuff like that if we know we're going to be on a planet where you need it, but we don't have the money for like a full spacesuit for everybody all the time. So, we do a lot more of the sneaking, but they can still be pretty sneaky. Alright, so, this way. Sorry, my little kerfluffle with the trash bot. Let's head out to the polymer wall. Sorry, my little kerfluffle with the trash bot. Let's head out to the polymer wall. Just a quick shortcut. Oh, that's one of the, there's a disguised center in there. But if you keep going this way, you'll hear that the jungle sounds start to get louder. And this is the ruins here at the edge of the forest. It's pretty beautiful, I think. And this is where everyone does training. And I think it's my favorite place in the whole fort. Sometimes I like to come out here and either join in while other squads are training. People are usually pretty friendly and okay with that. Sometimes people are doing squad-only exercises and they can't have you with them. But I like to do that. And then sometimes I like to just find a really quiet area. Like up there behind that tree, there's a really cool sitting place, and I like to sit there. But yeah, you can hear the rainforest is super, super awesome up in here. So, it's really pretty, because we're not all the way out into the jungle here, right? We're still within the polymer wall of the fort. And I think our squad, since you're going to be part of it, is over here. Give me just a second. Let me just make sure. can't remember exactly where. Usually your wristband will kind of tell you where people are, but they're doing kind of covert ops practice today. Oh no, I can see where they are. Right. So, okay, just this way. So they're all in there. We're not going to interrupt because they're doing live fire exercises and we would rather not get shot. They're through the door and they're shooting that way. So, because we have rules about stuff. We very rarely do live fire exercises. This is like one of the only days the whole year we've gotten to do them because, like I said, we try to save ammo for time they're actually needed. So most of the time it's stun cartridges, and even the stun cartridges we save, that's really more for prisoners. And so mostly people who are in charge of the prison area have that. But the prison area, it's about 4 buildings over from the communication center. Yeah. So if there's like an emergency or something, guards can immediately go up to the communication center and like override the broadcast there. Although you can really probably do that from your wristband. That would have to be a pretty colossal emergency. We would probably all already know about it, to tell you the truth. But yeah, so most of the time you're going to use shocks, just like standard like electric shocks, bam, you're down, and that hurt. But they are practicing some live fire stuff, just because the weapon really does handle differently with, when it's loaded with oxidizer cartridges. And that's across like even a small handheld versus like a huge rifle versus like an arm cannon. They all really handle a little bit differently when you've got oxidizer cartridges in them, and because accuracy is important because we don't want to waste stuff. They're doing like live fire target practice right now, and we never do target practice where you just stand there and shoot a target. You're not going to have that happen. If you want to do that, you can, have some of the kids are taught to like load their stuff with little pellets, like when they're first learning how to do live fire. It'll be like little pellets, and they're very uncomfortable, but they won't kill you. And there's like a standstill shooting area in the main training center, but out here, once you're over regulation fighting age, basically once you're over 13, you're always going to be using like a real normal weapon, and it does handle differently. But yeah, the live fire that we do is never going to be just standing there. It's going to be practicing running around, how to maintain your accuracy. If you need to slow down during it, that's okay, but so you might have to slow down, take aim, but the fact is that like in real life you're never just standing there shooting at a target. Nobody does that anymore. That's like for fun or sports. That's how the grow and train. We don't have the ammunition to waste on that. So the live fire exercises they're doing right now, they are kind of like running all around up in there. So they're really deep in there, but and that particular spot's a little bit creepy. It's like very the archaeology teams have already been through there and like archived like everything that they could find, but like there definitely were some like crypts or something there, and like the way that the vines are over stuff, like you gotta really watch your step. It is a hazard with live fire stuff. You won't be doing live fire in there for a long time, because if you trip and shoot somebody, that would not be good. So like most of our exercises in there are usually shock. Just this is the only like spot that was open to us right now, and so this is where we got to train. So I'm missing out on like the most exciting day of the training year to hang out with you. I hope that makes you feel special. We're excited to have you as part of the squad. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on in there. It is really creepy in there, and then sometimes there's like these slithers. What's a slither? A slither is this like underground dwelling. It's not like a slug, but it has like a droopy body shaped like this. It's like elongated, and it looks slimy, but actually only the underside is slimy, and they use that to like affix to stuff, or like if they want to sleep upside down or whatever. And they have these like wide, like net-looking wings. They're like closed, but they're wings that like look very like veiny, not like feathery, like peacock guinea pigs have feathers but no wings. This is like very like leathery kind of wings that are like long, and it's almost like there's fingers in them, and they're like this. They creep me out a little bit. Clicky, our insectoid buddy, our weapons specialist, he actually eats them. He thinks that they're delicious. Our food specialist says they would be poisonous to humans, so none of the rest of us eat them. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Hold on. Shoot, you and I have to go. Yeah. I think we can't wait for the weapon specialist to assign you a weapon. We're gonna have to get out now. I have to head up to Red Track City to meet a contact, and this is not really meet a contract. I have to pick something up, and this is a pretty easy, like, first kind of mission for you. I know it's like a lot to like throw you into all at once, but you're no stranger to conflict, right? You were rescued after. I heard the story of your rescue, and I'm going to hear the whole thing from you tonight, I'm sure, during Barrick's talk. But I know that was pretty exciting. You know, anyone over 13, we kind of hop right into it, kind of teach you stuff directly, and it's going to be safer than hanging out around the live fire area, actually. So even though we'll be going into grown territory, it'll be really chill. But yeah, I got to take you up. I got to head up to Red Track City now. So let's get you back to the weapons center. Is there anything you need to pick up at the barracks real quick? Well, you know, we have to go to the barracks anyway, because we have to pick up, you know, like I said, you always bring one thing of food for an emergency. And I have your small emergency pack already, like, ready. Like, I packed it for you, and then, of course, you're gonna have to repack it and resupply it each time. It's like a small, like, pouch. It goes into the pocket of your cargo pants. Yeah. So, do you want to head up to the weapons area, get your weapons first, or back to the barracks? Sorry, I'm looking at that bug crawling across the ground, and I think it's very funny. Weapons. Oh. To play the heist game, you have to wager points. So you have to put heist and then the number of points you want to wager, for example. What heist? What? Sorry, no, I was talking into my wristband. My sister was trying to get in touch with me, and she's pulling a heist somewhere. Yeah, that's all. That's all. Yeah, you gotta put in the amount you want to wager. And the amount you have should be in the bottom right-hand corner of the chat. Yeah, again, just talking to my sister. Mind your own business. Just gonna scoot over here and talk to my sister without you asking questions about my sister. How do you win? Once the heist begins, this all happens, and you get points or not. Okay. Yeah, read all of that, and then you'll know. If you don't get into the heist fast enough, then it leaves without you. So this one had only Peter Pan and Untitled in it, and we survived. Sometimes you don't survive, sometimes you die. sorry, I know I'm like kind of talking around you. That's because I get best reception like right where you're standing. And so I'm whispering into my wristband. I'm not talking to you, I promise. Those earlier times when you thought I was talking to you, I was probably whispering into my wristband. I've got a lot going on. Sorry. Yeah. It's a duel. I don't know, am I gonna duel? So you wager, you type in duel. I don't know why I'm looking at you. You wager, you type in duel, and you type in and you can only duel one person or the other person. So only supervision, like one person at a time. So when you go, if you want to duel somebody, you gotta duel somebody else, or you can try to duel me. I'm up for a duel. So there you go. And then it like gives you a result, and so you can keep dueling each other. Sorry, I keep wanting to look in the camera. There's no camera. I'm just talking into my wristband. Don't worry about it. I keep wanting to look into my camera because I need to do that when I'm talking to you. But you know, because we're doing this RP within the context of the RP, I'm talking on my wristband to someone else, so that I can still communicate with you. So yeah, you can duel each other, and you can wager points, and you can try to get points. If you know his username, you certainly can try. So yeah, it's kind of cool. So and then like obviously the people who have the most points at the end of their thing wins. So yeah. Sorry, my sister is stationed in on Alpino. I'm done. We're gonna go and get our weapons. My sister's stationed in Alpino, and she doesn't understand some of the culture that they have there, and so I was just kind of giving her a little rundown of some stuff based on, I spent some time with some space pirates at one point. So let's head back to the weapons center immediately, and then we'll grab your survival pack real quick at the barracks, which I should have put on you already. We should have already grabbed that. I'm sorry that didn't happen. So we're gonna cut back through that kind of dressing area again. But we're gonna go back this way real quick, and then right back through. Don't mind this area, it's just a dressing area. Sometimes people do prep and disguise staging and things like that in here. It's kind of open to anybody. So back through the ball. And back through this area. The reason the staging area is really close to the area where we go out outside is because sometimes you want to practice with some stuff. Because it can be uncomfortable, like moving around in uniform you're not used to, or in clothes you're not used to. So we kind of do a little bit of practice. You just gotta make sure not to destroy stuff, and you're good. Let's yeah. So back this way, and we'll get to the weapons center. It's stupid because we were just here, so like we could have grabbed something right after we were eating. But I wanted to wait until the weapons specialist got to do it. But something bad happened. So back through this polymer wall to this hallway. There we go. Yeah, I know it's kind of a creepy hallway, but this is a hallway that kind of sparks my imagination. I like this hallway. Don't judge my favorite hallway. It's not my favorite hallway. I have other hallways I like better. Don't judge me. I know I'm very weird, but I am what I am. Alright, we're back in the big weapons center. Let me see what they assigned you. Actually, it should be on your wristband. Go ahead and check in. Because as soon as your wristband went online, our weapons specialist should have gotten a message to assign you something. Yeah, based on what everyone else in the squad has. So check your wristband really quick. And it should say either it should probably be like one of the models of flare pistol. He may or may not have assigned you a rifle instead based on what's available. Like a kind of small assault rifle, probably a small one. Ours are like very compact, so like about this big. So yeah, were you assigned a flare pistol or an assault rifle? What do you see? You gotta answer me. You gotta tell me flare pistol. Assault rifle. No, you definitely didn't get a sniper thing. You either got a flare. You can't fool me. You either got a flare, like some form of flare pistol or some form of flare, like assault rifle, depending on what we had available. It's a big gun, you don't know what it's called. Here, let me see it. Okay. You want to be a sniper? Is that something you'd like to do? Didn't last time you say you wanted to be... Well, aren't you going to train for our pilot slot? Do you want to, like, second class as a sniper? Because that'd be pretty cool. Our combat medic is dual classed as a sniper. Yep. We don't do like merit badges or things like that here in the Groen do. The Groen, like you'll see the Groen generals will have their chests like covered with like shiny candy and stuff like that. We don't do that. But anyway, let's go. Hold on a second. Alright, we're off. That was all code. I'm trying to communicate with my contact up at Red Track City, so I know that all sounded like nonsense. But I think doing secondary sniper stuff sounds like a really good idea. Let's get you here, let me show you. It makes good. Here. I know it's kind of like dingy. It sounds kind of weird. That's because this is undetectable. So it's actually an unusual like plasticky type polymer. So that's, you know, so that we can get into places that we're not supposed to be. That's just kind of how we do. So you'll find that a number of the weapons, and yours is untraceable like that. A number of our weapons are some kind of like plasticky polymer. So yeah, don't scratch it. That's not necessary. Don't do that. Okay, so that area is making that sound because it's not charged with oxidizer cartridges yet. So yours should be ready to produce. Yours should be all charged. It is all charged. Hold on. No, you're good to go. So what I mean is there are no oxidizer cartridges in the barrel yet. So it's kind of like that electrically little sound. So you're just going to need to tap here. And then it'll drop right down. See that? There you go. So yeah, it drops right down into the barrel. And now you're ready to fire. Yeah. There, the safety is right here. and you need to keep that on at all times. And don't like flag people. We will probably beat your ass if you flag somebody even by accident. And it'll be a friendly ass beating, but it'll be an ass beating because it's no joke. Like what's flagging? So flagging is where you're holding, if you point the muzzle of a gun, even an unloaded gun, at someone by accident. So your gun needs to be down, so you need to hold it. Yeah, I know it's kind of, yours is kind of big, unfolded like that. So I know you've got the kind of not used to the big like black. Here, no, like this. Hold on, we need to do like this. Okay, so the muzzle needs to always be facing down. When you're running and stuff, you want to carry it with the muzzle down towards the ground. You only ever lift it up when you're going to aim it at something you're going to shoot at, and that safety stays on always, 100% of the time, until click, you've lifted up to aim at the thing you're going to shoot at. Okay, you don't. You know, once you're aimed in the direction you want to aim is when you're going to do that. You're not going to click early. You're not going to shoot the ground. Oxidizer cartridges are hella expensive. Yours is loaded with stun cartridges right now. Just to start out for things. These are still expensive. It's not loaded with a shock because a shock doesn't last very long, doesn't knock anyone out. It's just a shock. It's just meant for like control. A stun cartridge is a calcium channel, kind of like, it blocks, not calcium channels, it blocks calcium release in the sarcoplasmic reticulum in your muscles, so that you can't move, and that lasts for a couple of hours. The person is still conscious. They can sometimes, it depends on like how well they handle it. Sometimes it'll knock someone unconscious because it's just so overwhelming. But so that's what you've got. So that's pretty effective, and in a fight, and it fires as long range as an oxidizer cartridge does. Still very expensive, so don't be wasting that. Don't shoot me, and I don't have time to be unconscious in the jungle and get eaten by, an electric saber-toothed cat. Okay, so you're gonna keep the weapon down always. If I see you lifting the weapon above the ground, I will punch you. Okay, I will punch you. That is just a squad rule. If there's any flagging, you get punched. It's not like going to be a mean punch, but it's going to let you know, so you get that muscle memory in your head, and you remember, oh, flag up means I get punched. I'm not going to lift my thing up. I'm not going to flag anyone, okay? We're especially strict with that because, like 13-year-olds, since we have 13-year-olds carrying weapons, there's a lot of strict rules about it, and, we don't have some to accidentally get shot. Alright, so you're going to carry it down like that, and right now you're going to holster it to your hip right there. Yeah, so just wrap the holster around your hip like that. Yeah, it's a kind of leather. Yeah, just right along your hip there. Hold on, I'm gonna get closer to you here. Down along here. Almost, you almost got it. There you go. Yeah. And I know it's a long holster, like it goes all the way up your hip, because it's kind of like a rifle, but because all of our assault rifles are fairly short, it clips right to your hip, and that's okay. The other way that you can do this, most of the way that we do it a lot, like for a really long weapon, it goes slung over your back. Because most of our assault weapons are a little shorter, it can still fit on your hip. It's going to be a little uncomfortable. Sometimes people like to carry it on their side, and if you want to do that, you can adjust it like this. Same with your holster thing, and you can adjust it just like this if you want. Just like behind you here. There you go. See that? Yeah. I like to do mine over my chest. It's really easy to pull out, so that's what I did when I was carrying a rifle. An assault rifle, which I'm not anymore. The actual like sniper weapons, or like some of the larger like arm cannons and other things like that, they'll be really long, and sometimes they'll have to be like slung over your back. Same thing when you're slinging a weapon over your back. The muzzle always stays now down towards the ground. Okay. Where do you want it? Do you want it on your back or on your hip? On your back or on your hip? like the sounds of the leather too. Well, it's because leather is readily available here. It's easier to get leather here than plastic because hunting and trading with the big space liners and stuff like that. Yeah, sometimes for hunting we'll cheat and we'll use like not shock cartridges, sorry, we'll use shocks and then a knife. Because we can't, because it's too expensive to use, like even the stun cartridges are pretty expensive. If you're starving, you gotta do what you gotta do, but, you know, it's just, it takes a lot of energy to make those things, and the actual, like, glass container thing, which is completely lost once it's fired and shattered and, you know, so forth, once it's burned a hole in someone, that's gone. So, and that, every month or so, you gotta have your weapon serviced, and reloaded with, like, basically the inside material. It's not a polymer. I don't really know how to explain it. Our weapons specialist could do better. But we call them cores. You just have to get the core reloaded every month or so that your weapon can continue to synthesize the oxidizer cartridges. Okay. Our weapons specialist will go over that with you. I don't want to be late. So let's get going. Real quick, I'm going to take you back to the disguise area because we are going to be walking around just the edge of Red Shack City and we don't want to look like stupids. So, we're going to just walk back out through the hallway. Yeah, this is a back door. The weapons area has a back door straight outside. And we're going to continue back towards the barracks area and then the changing area. Now, it shouldn't take us too long to get ready, but we should kind of speed it up a little bit. So the barracks area is going to be closer here. So let's go back and back here into the main hallway. And then our barracks room. Just back through the Alright, and so what was I looking for? Here we go. Just gotta get my little pouch. Where did I put it? Oh, here we go. So that thing, no, don't shake it. Just put it in your cargo pants pocket. Yep. Your uniform is actually already folded on your bed. If you don't need a uniform for this, we're gonna kind of steal some of the nicer civilian clothes. You almost never do that, but since we're trying to go up to Red Shack City, we're gonna do that. Your assigned civilian clothes and your assigned uniform are all folded up on your bunk. Yep. Yours is the top one right up here. Little cubby, like I talked to you before. You can polymer wall can be translucent or opaque, and so you can see outside. It can be a nice little window. It's, you know, it's a very simple little area, and it's small, but, you know, it's nice. Okay, so let's go. Just put that in your pocket. It's got everything you need in case there's an emergency. Let's head over to the disguise area real quick. We call it staging, so we're gonna head over to the staging area. And yeah, these are some of the kind of unfinished hallways. Back out through the hallway and then back out through the polymer wall. And then the staging area is just back here. You're starting to figure out your way around, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it can be kind of confusing because everything is kind of clumped together, so it can be like, which way is the fastest to go? And there are a lot of trees, so, but you'll get it soon enough. Alright, so in here, sorry, I'm gonna kind of move around you real quick. I'm just gonna kind of walk away from you a little bit, so I'm not all up in your space. So here's the dealio, let's get you a jacket. Which one do you like best? It's not a big deal, but they have to kind of fit you. it is a little one size fits all. This is black, this is leather. That's gonna work. Or this one. They're not really disguises, they just kind of make you look not like you're obviously Frelsey or a Frelsey sympathizer. Kind of look a little more upscale. How about this one? Black or silver? Which do you prefer? I'm nice, I'm letting you choose. Other people wouldn't let you choose. So again, black leather or silver. This is kind of a nice one. I like it's got these little buttons here. Whichever one you don't have, I'll have the other one. Yeah, black or silver? Which one? Silver. I like NSB also. Yes, so a lot of the Bukes do a lot of trapping. Absolutely. Yeah, that's a big thing. Pit traps also. One challenge is you don't want to catch somebody that you weren't supposed to catch into the area, and a well-hidden trap, that's why there's certain areas you don't want to go into, because there's certain areas where like people have left things like that, and a well-hidden trap is hard to see. So we don't tend to do that too close to the perimeter of Fort Jehu. We don't really do that within the EMP perimeter either, because kids do still go out there. But most of them kind of know to be wary of where they're walking. But you know, a good trap, it's not going to matter. But yeah, we definitely do that. Did you do a lot of that where you came from on your moon? That's pretty cool. So maybe you can help our food specialist a little bit. That would be awesome. That'd be really cool. Well, you have to have cargo pants because you have to have something to carry your stuff. All uniforms have cargo pants, even the growing uniform. You cannot dress up as a ninja pirate. I also like the ancient musical stylings of NSP though. Silver. This is absolutely true, and you're not going to wear a jacket while you are outside, like if it were a normal jacket. But all of these have this anti-wicking technology in here. This is what all the civilians are wearing to keep you cool. So I know it seems like, why would I wear that? It's kind of like, why would you wear a turban in the middle of the desert? Well, it protects you and keeps you cool, and you want to have sleeves so you're protected from insects, because a lot of the insects here are really horrible. They will ruin your life. So that's why you're going to wear a jacket. So, because it actually keeps you cool inside. Back on the human homeworld in about, I guess 2019 AD, there was a like air-conditioned shirt that was invented by some Japanese scientists, and that's what this is based off of. So that's what that's for. That's why you're going to wear a jacket, and you want silver, so you're going to have silver here. Let me help you get it on. Just there. Yep, just get your sleeve in there. Sorry, you're not a baby. You can dress yourself. There you go. Excellent. And then your pants. You're going to have to change your pants. You're on your own. Black. You're going to wear black. That's all we have. So go ahead and put this on. I'm going to scoot to the other room. Here you go. Go ahead and put this on. And I will head out to the other room while you get dressed. And you can just get dressed. Hey there, so we killed the boss and there was a new boss generated. So as a celebration, everybody is going to get a free MP3. because the boss has been killed. Every time the boss is killed, everyone's gonna get a free MP3. And this time it's going to be the MP3 for one of the most popular videos, which is where is this thing? Here, this one, the Sci-Fi Changing Your Heart one, since we are doing sci-fi. So, because you killed the boss, you see the boss has reset, because you guys killed the boss with new follows, everybody gets to download a free MP3. All for free. So make sure to download that before it disappears from the chat, folks. Make sure to download it before it disappears. That might be. I don't know. That could be anyone. No, you're not just getting a jacket on. You gotta put pants on. These black pants that I showed you. Hold on, let me come back in there. Did you not see the pants that I put out for you? Hurry up, we gotta go. These are pants. Black pants. They're kind of stretchy. They still have a cargo pants pocket here on the side. Right there. So you can still have your stuff there. Yep. And your weapon, actually, right here, see over here, there's this like pouch. You're gonna cover your whole weapon with that. So you're not gonna put the weapon on, like in your pants, you're gonna put your pants on. Then you're gonna strap the pouch over your weapon. It's pretty common in fashion today to have a carrying pouch like on the side of your leg. So it's not an issue. And we're going to be going in the back side of the city. We won't have to deal with any inspections as long as we're fairly incognito. We're literally just going to pick something up, and I want to show you the area so you kind of know some of the geography around here and get used to your wristband. It's going to be really easy. It's not going to be a big deal. There's not going to be any combat. It's going to be relaxing. It's going to be kind of like a fun little jaunt through the jungle. But you have to wear pants, okay? Alright, I'm going to go out of the room again and let you try again to get dressed. I had the time to have an entire phone call about like bosses and MP3s in the other room in the time it took you to not put your pants on. Yeah, get with the program, soldier. Here you go. Pants. So the boss does change its name when it comes back. Technically, Hoff TV is the one who killed it. Congratulations to Hoff TV. The boss is actually just about to get a new name. And it should go live right now, so you should see it in just a second. Let's see if it loads or not. Yep, it's loading for me. It's loading for you. There we go. That's the new boss. What is wrong with you? You don't need a belt. You don't need a belt. And you gotta get over it self-esteem wise, okay? You just gotta get used to it. Everything's real. Platonic brother and sister around here. That's kind of how we roll. we will have a meeting about how those rules work as well. Yeah. Okay, at least you have the pants on now. Good, well done. They are a little large for you. Here's a little clip. You can put this on instead of a belt. What you do is, basically you're gonna fold the side of the material over like this and clip it. And we have a really strong clip right here. Here, I'll help you with it. There you go. Yeah, you're just gonna fold that material over here. Hold on, let me kind of get a better angle of attack here. Okay, there we go. So you just fold there, and then we clip it just like that. Yeah, I know it's kind of loud. And that clip is not going to come undone, even if you, like, I've had people who got blown up, and they were in pieces, and their clips still had their pants the right size. So, it is what it is. Alright. Now you gotta stick out for a second, because I gotta change my pants real quick. Just super quick. And I'm just gonna kind of keep this zipped up, because I don't really have time to be changing my shirt.
I am giving you $1. I expect to be a character in all of our future works.
I'm gonna kind of keep my wristband hidden here. Alright. And then I'm gonna pants also. So just give me a second if you could step outside. Yeah, I changed super fast. I changed while you were in the polymer wall. I have different pants now. Check it out, biatch. Sorry, I get a little amped up when I'm about to go up to Red Track City. So I can be a little jazzed. I love going to Red Track City. I love my contact up there. So, these aren't like disguises. The point is just to not look frelsy. That's just the point. Just to wear civilian clothes, which we all, you know, again, there's not a lot of money to go around, so we all share the same set of clothes. So be courteous when you come back. Obviously, you saw in that room, there's a lot of different sets of clothes for all different species. But, you know, when you come back, just make sure you put it in the laundry. Just be courteous. Courteous to everybody, since, you know, all the nice stuff, we all have to share. Your own individual civilian clothes, you got to keep them washed, and there's 2 sets of uniforms, and that's all. That is all you own, unless you brought something else with you, which most of us didn't. All right, so let's go ahead down to the other area there. Yeah. Oh no, I don't just have my weapon. I also have this sweet baby. Yeah, I love her. Isn't she gorgeous? So, she is scrally forged. Duranthian steel. Can cut through literally anything. My mom got it on an offensive once. Alright. Let's go ahead and head. Yeah, you can feel it's like a lot cooler once you have it on. Again, another reason like we can't all afford to like just wear this all the time. Expensive shit. The civilians tend to have money. It is what it is. So, yeah. Let's get, yeah, so the edge of the polymer wall, and same thing. This time, there might be some sentries because we're changing security protocols lately. No, they're good. We can just phase through. Yeah, even though the polymer wall was like for our DNA and everything like that, sometimes they have some additional security checks. It's very, very rare. But there have been like stories, rumors, or of like mercenaries. I'm sure you've heard of like the Ebon Shadow. But like mercenaries that theoretically can use like polymer wall, like DNA cloaking technology. That's not supposed to be a real thing. I don't think it's real. But every now and then we have sentries and stuff just because of the rumors and things like that. And because sometimes we have a naughty person from our ranks who needs to get caught and get in trouble when they come back. So, yeah, it's no big deal. Oh, you need to change your hair. Civilians don't put their hair like that. Also, you definitely look like you came from a moon and don't know anything about anything. Let me just kind of, I'm just gonna get up a little close to you. Forgive me here, and just kind of help you with. Well, yeah, you don't want to look like you came from a middle of nowhere moon, because if you came from a middle of nowhere moon, you are probably Frelsey. So just going to help you here and here. Just here. Excellent. And I'm still going to have my hair up because I'm not going to deal with combat problems, but you know, you don't want to have anything to grab onto. But the thing now that people are doing is they usually have side braids or side buns. That's just more common. People are more likely to look at you if you have a practical hairstyle. They're like always looking for Frelsey infiltrators or Frelsey sympathizers. So, a little down like that, and at least just doesn't arouse too much suspicion. Alright, so let's phase through. I know it looks so big from out here. Like a huge ass wall. And so we're going to be taking an air rider. Do you know what an air rider is? Mine is already outside of the wall, kind of near the edge of the perimeter. Yeah. And they're fairly quiet. I mentioned this to you last time. They're like these ships that are not really ships, they're like land ships, or like as they would call them on like cars. Very fancy. They're not really land either. They're not really airships, not really land ships. They kind of like float, hover. They can go up and down. They can't really go above, like, you know, too far above the canopy. They start losing steam because they do work on various electromagnetic like principles. So they can't like be flying up all up in the sky. But they've got, here, I'll show you our air rider. So we're just gonna walk over here a little bit. Hold on a second, I just gotta check on my, oh, excuse me. Alright, back through here. Yeah, and I know you can hear the sounds of the rainforest are super cool. I definitely like it out here. Yep. So back through this way. This is just one of the outposts, little dens here, and this is where I stored it. There's a couple different sentry posts like this. They're not this nice as you go further out until you get up to the EMP shield. But yeah, my air rider is up here, and as you can see, like, yeah. No, so, so you have some experience driving things, so you don't need me to explain what an air rider is to you. We'll get you trained though, we'll get you cross-trained. They only have land ships where you are, right? Or cuz, as they say on Berbera. You can tell I'm not Berberan, and I am a little judgy of Berberans. They're kind of like very wealthy people. Not all of them, but you know. Yeah. Alright, well, let's get going. Let's get going. I'm just gonna it's gonna be a little harder to hear you once we get moving. So I have an earpiece for my, where it connects with my wristband. things revved up. I just had to do a quick tune-up, that's why I was checking here. I just wanted to make sure everything was good because it would suck for everything not to be good. We're going to be going through some pretty awesome terrain as we go out, so I guess hold on to your, we don't have a hat on, but hold on to it, I guess. So, there's a lot of this area that I really, really love, kind of as we travel, but then some of it is a little, I don't know, a little creepier. Like this area always kind of gives me the creeps. Yeah, no, that's fine. Right where you are is not a problem. And you pick up on it intuitively, you understand. There's no particular protocol for when you're... Oh, I'm just going to scooch to the side here real quick. Yeah, I'm just kind of going to focus on the road. Well, not the road, not that there really is one. And a lot of the areas kind of look the same. I love the canopy though. Some pretty areas. These don't work super well over water, so just kind of watch it. Watch it when you're going over water. We're about to come up on one of my favorite spots. Isn't that beautiful? So Retract City is down there. It's kind of like that tall thing that you can see over there. That's where Retract City is. And we are almost there. We're just gonna park and then walk. We're just gonna leave the air rider idling a little bit outside because there is a lot of vehicle detection, and so we're gonna leave it a distance away. So we're just gonna kind of zoom down there and stop. And I know a lot of it, everything kind of looks the same. Alright, so we're gonna just park here. And from here, you can actually already start hearing some of the sounds of the city. Just a little bit, kind of in the distance. Alright, I'm literally just going to pick something up in these little areas. But yes, like as you look into the city, yep, behind me. Not behind me, in front of you. That way. That way. That way? That way? Directions are difficult. As you look over into the city, you'll, like, this area is still really, like, jungle edge-like, and this is one of the few places that's not surrounded by, like, really pretty residential areas. This is kind of near where some of the, like, herbalists live. There's a lot of herbs in these kind of seedy areas that are pretty illegal. And illegal for you growing anyway. Or else, we don't care a lot about herbs unless it's making you hurt somebody else. It's probably going to be legal. But, I mean, depending on, unless it's making you hurt somebody. And of course that's up for debate depending on what people group you live in. But growing pretty much have a pretty standard, very strict philosophy about certain herbs. And one of them is very prominently farmed out here in this particular area. And so one of the herbalists kind of sometimes will drop stuff in this area for us to bring back. In this particular case, there's a little bit of intel from they're basically like my confidential informant. And they're gonna drop some info here in exchange for I brought something for them that will help them with their herbs. So that's kind of what's going on. So you see this kind of building right over here that looks like a sky.
Hoff TV donated twice but never got his acknowledgement. Acknowledge him so he cries a little less tonight, please.
That's the mural on the wall of the area. lay back before the growing were here, this was a pretty decent spot to hang, and it was a little more upscale. Obviously, it's kind of become a vagrant place since then. But yeah, it's pretty sweet. Any questions? Anything you see or want to ask about before we head back real quick? Wait, you can ask it while we're on the air rider. We can talk there. Yeah. No, yeah, Red Track City is an hour's ride from Fort Jehu. It's just that you enjoyed the view so much, it felt like a couple seconds. That's all. But it did take us an hour to get here. Yeah. So we'll have time to talk on the way back. Alright, let's get back. So, if you want, well, did you ever drive through Denstone? I was going to offer to let you drive the air rider. I think I'm not going to until after you've had your first classes. I think I would get in trouble. So yeah, so we just got to go back out into the old hallway. And you can look at the mural again if you like. Sometimes there's elements of this mural that used to move back when this whole place had power. That's why, I mean, it looks like a sky, right? It's really, really pretty. There were pieces that used to move and used to change with the constellations. Like I said, this used to be a cool place to come. And like, because I was little before the grow-in occupied Red Track City, and my parents used to bring me up to this area, and this area was kind of like a whole like cafe. It wasn't like this seedy like run in and run out kind of thing. And we used to sit and picnic here on the back end and just watch this mural as the constellations changed. It was really cool, but it's frozen like that now. That's what it looks like. So, you know, a lot of memories. A lot of things the growing have taken away from us. But yeah, let's get going. All right, we'll charge things back up, and we will get back into. We're gonna take a different path home, just in case we've been spotted. So we'll kind of zip through here, but it's not gonna really. Do you have any questions? Now is the time to ask questions. How are you feeling about settling in so far? Sorry, I'm kidding. I'm getting a call. Hey, what's going on? I'm gonna have to sacrifice a code to get this stream to stop lagging. That would be your internet provider, that's right. Why can't I fit that one in? That's funny. I could just pay that. No, that could be maybe this is what guys require attending about? Your fear of aliens and fulfillment. Okay. What did I say? I don't know what I said. What? I'm so confused. I'm really confused. What did I say? Okay, so for normal donations, you gotta go down, just scroll down, and it says how to donate, and there's a Streamlabs. I'm looking up here. There is a Streamlabs. I'm looking at it so I can try. So there's a Streamlabs link, and you can do donations there. You can also do subs, which there's shit read out? Why didn't it read out? Oh, that's sad. Check it out now. Why did it do that? This is good. This is good to test it. It should be amazing. It should work. Here, I'm gonna test. It could be based on its size. Oh yeah, no, it doesn't do it for bits. It only does it for subs and deletions. It reads out something like this.
This is a test donation for $64.
See, that. It'll do your donations. Like that. More. 3 subs.
This is a test.
Like that. That's my reason I'm sorry. Sorry that wasn't open. Yeah, resub, subscriptions, donations, those things. What's your name up there? Like this.
This is a test bit alert.
Oh shoot. No, it should say things. Did I not say things for you? It should say. It's at least a say. Maybe you don't have your audio. Because I'm hearing things work. Are you guys not hearing anything read out when it reads out? I'm hearing things read. And then follows just puts up a cute little over it. I don't know, I see that it's working here on the back end. The text-to-speech is enabled. It says it's enabled. Maybe the volume is enabled. Can you hear it?
This may be my last donation for a while. I just quit my job and am moving cross-country.
There you go. It worked. And thank you. And that worked just with bits. Thank you very much, Communicator. That's sweet of you. And thank you for everybody who's been doing stuff during the stream. Yeah, I didn't want you guys to feel ignored. So it required attention. That background makes you feel like... This background? Suko just called me an asshole, that's all he said. The water is a touch loud. The water? There should be no water. That's the engine. I will make the engine quieter. There you go. I hope the engine is better now, and I will make me louder. Is that better? That should be better. I should be louder. There we go. Testing, testing, testing. Testing, testing, testing. And the fan is quieter now. Is that better? Alright. Okay. Yeah, so I'm not qualified for gifts yet. GIFs, you have to have a certain number of subscriptions first. We are not at the 35 yet that I can get. So, there is a sound effect, but I don't know if you can hear it. I put in sound effects that I liked that weren't interrupting for ASMR. Like quiet, gentle sound effects. But subs do, everybody has, like, when you can use your bits to purchase, like, emotes, and all the subs get emotes, so definitely check your account and see if you have new emotes, because I've uploaded a ton of emotes now. I've uploaded the maximum that I have. I don't think extremely loud screams every time someone subscribes would interrupt the ASMR. I think that might Oh, did you just kill another? Did you guys kill the stream boss again? You guys did. You guys are killing the stream boss all over the place. Holy crap. Let me see this. Stream boss died once more, so it needs a new name. Stream boss. It took me a very long time to even set up like this minimum stuff. The game, the heist game in the chat took me way more than I would like to admit. And the stream boss, it's okay, Unigoto killed Hoff's, so Unigoto was the last killer of Hoff's evil doppelganger. So the new boss is going to be this one. It's gonna be silly. All the boss names are gonna be kind of silly. It should load in just a second, and you guys get another MP3 because, yeah, you did it. This one's gonna be the meditation to relax your white coat hypertension. That's what's gonna be this one. So you guys killed the boss. You guys get another MP3. Yeah, so I'm working on it. I'll try to make things more fun, but still keep it quiet, so the focus is on me. But this is new. So this is new. The fact that it does this little thing and reads out your text to speech. That took me a long time. Also, I saw it on a donkey stream and I liked it. So, but yeah, I'll be working on making things better and better each time. So there you go. The new boss. This is the new boss's name. And this is the new MP3 for you to download. Alright, folks. Are we ready to continue? I think we're good to continue. Technically, we wouldn't actually. There's some perspective issues here, but that's okay. Alright. We're almost back. And when we get back, you'll get to meet everybody. That'll be good. Wait, what's that?